Well, I was rolling down the road in some cold blue steel.
What up, boys and girls? Welcome to an update on the Polar Lights, Candies, and Hughes Barracuda funny car. There it is. If you've forgotten what it looks like, I've been away for a while. I want to apologize for that. Just give you a real quick rundown on what's been going on. Had a couple of deaths close to me. My aunt passed away about 3 weeks ago, and I never knew my father's people. My father and mother separated and divorced before I was a year old, so I never knew my biological father. My mother remarried and to my stepfather. He's actually the only father I ever knew. So, but anyway, I only knew my mother's side of the family. So, and she only had one sibling, which was my aunt, and my aunt was a couple of years older than her. And my mother's has been dead since 2009. So, my aunt passed not suddenly. She's had dementia and Alzheimer's and all the crap that goes along with that, as did my mother. So at any rate, that kind of took the wind out of my sails there for a couple of weeks. I just didn't feel like I had a lot of bad, not bad memories, but good memories of times that are not going to have come and gone, and just kind of that down in the dumps funk feel. All of you know what I'm talking about. So just didn't really feel like doing any building or do very little. So at any rate, and then last week, one of my good friends who I've been knowing for 35 years, and ever since he and I have been working with Metro government here in Nashville, his girlfriend's father passed away, and I have a barbecue competition team on the side. Well, that's one of my hobbies, was. Still is, but not as much as it used to be. And also we have a in-house catering business on the side, and he's helped with that, and she's helped with that, and I didn't know her father real well, but he had helped at a couple of the vending events that we did, and I knew him well enough to know he was a real cool guy and nice guy, and he had been diagnosed with cancer. It's been a while. I don't think quite a year, but he had told the family that he did not want any chemo. He did not want radiation. He didn't want any. The only treatment he wanted was for pain when the time came, and he didn't want to be kept alive on a machine. He did not want to die in a hospital. So when the pain got bad, they medicated him up, and he died at home and died, around his family, and that's what he wanted, and that's what he got. So, so I went to that funeral yesterday. So, it's kind of been a rough month, I guess, pretty much. And so, but I've been doing some research, and when I hadn't felt like building, I've been kind of studying this car and doing some research on some future builds coming up. And that kind of thing. So, and I've been doing some parts painting and drilling some holes for fuel line plumbing, plug wires, and that kind of thing. So I haven't been just away from it altogether, but as far as doing a lot of building per se, I have not been doing that. So. Alright, let's get on with it, and let me show you what I've got done so far. You all remember that in the first video I showed you the chassis and the frame, rather. The Arctic Blue base coat, which I did and didn't like. It was too light, and so I went back and went over the top of that with a top coat of the Arctic Blue, Tester's Arctic Blue acrylic mixed with the acrylic gloss black, and got my mix kind of the way I wanted it, and shot it, and that's the result, and then cleared it. So that's what you saw in the first video, and everything else is what you see before you. The interior panels are just Tamiya flat aluminum. The interior cockpit is Tamiya titanium silver. Same goes for the brake assemblies and the wheel inserts. And I have some more of those. I just didn't want to bring every one of them out. The back ones are the same as the front ones, just bigger, same color. The wheelie bar spring assemblies will come out of the kit chrome, so I shot dull coat on those. And then I have some 22 gauge wire painted black that I will wrap for the actual springs themselves. Now we're going to get into the engine parts and dry shaft. The dry shaft, now the engine is a kind of a mix of the acrylic, the craft acrylics, Tamiya acrylic, and Testor's metallizers. So bear with me as I go through this. I'll try to make it fairly painless. Dry shaft is, and it's a little short dry shaft, is the titanium, the buffing metallizer stainless steel. And it has been polished out just a little bit. And I polished out the metallizers to different depths, I should say, I guess, or to different levels, I guess, if you will, depending on what kind of tone I wanted and so forth. So the injector pump is the metallizer aluminum plate, buffed out, not too much, but enough to knock off some of the flatness of it and bring out just a little bit of shine to it. The injector hat. The injector hat is also the aluminum plate, and I wanted to show you that, and I don't know if you'll be able to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see that in the video or not because of the lighting in here. It's not going to hit it just right. What I did was I polished this out pretty heavy because I wanted, this was kit chrome, so I stripped it, went over it with the aluminum plate, and I buffed this probably 2 or 3 times to really get this as close to, I didn't want it shiny chrome, but I wanted it like polished stainless steel. If you've ever worked in the restaurant industry and you know what a walk-in stainless steel walk-in cooler looks like, well, that's kind of what I was going for. It's not chrome, but it's also not flat like a flat aluminum would be. So that's what I went for there, and I think it came out pretty good. This is kind of my substitute for all-clad. And then, like I said, you can do it to various depths or various shines or whatever to get whatever look you're after. Same with the fuel tank. The fuel tank, I'm using one for a water tank. I'm going to shoot water to the head. I already have my holes drilled in the heads. Funny cars in the 60s and early 70s shot water to the heads. So I'm going to use one of these fuel tanks as a water tank. And I already have my plumbing. I don't know if you can see it on here. I have 2 crimp tubes for my fittings. I know that's not correct before someone sends me a PM or makes a comment about it in the video. Fuel tanks generally the fittings were in the top and they fed from the top. This car that is not going to be going down any racetrack is going to be fed from the side, from the rear. Just because this is going to be sitting up on the front cross member, and it's going to be kind of close to where the body will drop down to the front interior panel. So I don't want this to come into play as far as interfering with the top panel coming all the way, or the top coming down from where the front interior panel would need to rest flat onto the frame rails. And I don't want a fuel line or a water line of braided wire sticking up and causing it not to work. Because some of this braided wire does not, you can bend it, but when you start to bend it to move it, you know, and get it to where things will fit together, and it starts to lose its realism. I've not seen a fuel line yet that has a kink in it or a dip in it. So If you're using it for fuel lines, you have to be careful about how you route and how you bend your wires to replicate fuel lines. So that's why I'm going with the fittings on the rear of the fuel tank, so they will be coming straight out the back. On the engine itself, the front and rear mounting plates and the transmission are Ceramcoat acrylic aluminum. I'll go back with a black wash to bring out some of the molded in detail. The block and the heads are Tamiya flat aluminum. The blower and the front and rear blower parts were kit chrome, so they are also dull coated. The oil pan is the metallizer the metallizer aluminum plate, polished out kind of midways, I guess if you want to call it that, and I have some holes drilled for oil lines as well. I wanted it to look as metal as I could get it, and as you can see, I've handled it a couple of times and gotten a couple of spots on them. I'll have to buff out before I put it in the car, but you get the idea of how the metallizer works. The valve covers. Wanted to touch on that just for a second. I left those kit chrome, and I did something that, and some of you may have read about it. I read an article in Scale Auto Magazine, one of the writers, and his name escapes me, so I can't, I'm giving him credit for this. I didn't think of this. He has been playing around with using, and pardon me while I reach in front of you. He has been playing around with taking Tamiya smoke, X19, it's, I guess, pretty much transparent black. I guess you can use it for tinted windows or whatever. He's been playing around with brushing that on, or spraying, he said either one will work, onto kit chrome. And he said what it does is it deepens the chrome look, and also tones down that kind of that glaring shine that you get with kit chrome. It's not realistic in real chrome. Real chrome is shiny, but it's not that. It's not that mirror looking stuff. It's not the plated look. The chrome plated look is what you have in kit chrome. This kind of takes that plated look away. It maintains the shine that chrome has, but it deepens it up and gives it some shadow. Now you probably can't tell that in this video because of the lighting in here, but I'm crazy about it. I like it. I think it looks great. It's another substitute, I think, for all clad. I've used all clad. You know, it looks great. You have to be real careful with it. You have to put the gloss black base coat, and if you put too much of it, it does the exact opposite of make things look like chrome. It dulls them. So I just soon use this. Plus, not to mention the fact it stinks like crazy. So I mean, you know, I said, what the hell? I'll give it a shot, and I like it. I'll be doing this again on some parts that, especially valve covers. There are a lot of cars that came out of the factory back in the 60s, especially Hemis come to mind, that had chrome valve covers, and I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to dull coat them. Sometimes I don't want them matte looking. I want them shiny, but I don't want them to kit chrome shine. I want them to have that realistic look, and I think that does. In real life, you know, it does. So get you a bottle of the X19 smoke, try it out on the chrome sprue, see if you like it. If you like it, hey, try it, keep it. If not, you know, nothing lost. Throw it in some alcohol and, you know, take it off, and you know, you keep your chrome intact, and, you know, be through with it. So anyhow, that's kind of what I wanted to show you, what I've done so far. Nothing drastic has gone on as far as build goes. I've got everything ready to pretty much put together. I've got some other parts that I've either dull coated or I have painted. I didn't want to bring them all out, but here's some of the highlights, some of the major parts that are ready to go, and I'll be ready to throw parts together here in the next day or two. Oh, let me get the let me get the guest of honor at this build. Here's the final product as far as the paint goes. This is 4 coats of the Arctic Blue, and I got some dust specks here and there. And, this is 4 coats of the Arctic Blue Metallic Black Mix, and then 2 coats. I got some. There we go. And 2 coats of Testors Ultra Gloss clear coat. And I'll probably go over it one more time with, I should have dusted this thing, it's got dust all over. Probably go over it one more time with some Future right before I put the decals on, and then after I get the decals on, let them sit overnight, I'll go back with one more coat of Future to seal them in. But as far as the shine clear, that's all we're going to put on for shine purposes. So. Okay, I guess that's it. I don't have any more to show you, and like I said, I've not been at the bench too much, but I've been keeping up with some videos, and some great looking builds have been coming out of people's shops and things, and wanted to congratulate Butch at Full Throttle Customs for winning the Chevy Cheeseburger Extreme build. Just a killer project he did with the 66 Nova. Man, that thing is immaculate. If you hadn't seen it, you need to get over there and to his channel and take a look at it. But great job, Butch. Congrats once again. All right, guys, that's all for this update. Until I talk to you again, take care of one another. May God bless you and your family.